Hi. So I had a lot of trouble trying to just redo all of these segments, except for Ben, because I think his segment was like the only one I was okay with. But the other three I just did not like. So I had to redo their entire segments because I decided trying to write a script was a lot harder than I thought. So I just scrapped it and I'm just doing this whole thing unscripted. So there might be a lot of dead air I have to cut out, but if I do make another video like this, I'll definitely try to finish a script so this doesn't happen. Hi, I said I was gonna get this out before 2.2, but shit. So, I want to talk about the defense class right now in Zenless Zone 0 and how weird they're being handled currently, because they're having like an identity crisis on what they want to be. And this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and especially right now ever since 2.0 came out, with how 1 isn't exactly a defensive agent whatsoever. So let's just start talking about that right now. Ben Bigger, or as I like to call him, Benjamin Larger, is the first defense agent I want to talk about. And holy shit, his kit is just a total mess. Now, Zenless Zone 0 is a pretty fast-paced game, and you're going to be dodging a lot. Ben is the complete opposite of that, as his kit requires you to get hit, which for any other agent is pretty terrible. And his gameplay is not that rewarding at all, with one really big problem with Ben, and it revolves with how slow he is. Ben right now is the slowest agent in the game, and it hurts him a lot with the enemies in the game. And there's some pretty fast ones, and might not be able to handle them. And another thing I want to bring up is what the ZZZ devs intended Ben's build to be, because Ben right now is the only agent that scales off of defense, and currently our only defensive set is Soul Rock, but Soul Rock is dog shit. It's just a terrible set that I don't even think Ben would even use at all. His best set, ironically, is him being a DPS, and it can work, but Ben is very clunky to play with from the times I've used him, but he at least has supports like Lucy and Lighter to help him provide that big damage, because we do have Rakaruk, who that guy is just on another level. He is genuinely insane with Ben. So he can work as a DPS, but as a defensive agent, yeah, no, that he just doesn't work. Also, a strange thing I want to point out is that his additional ability gives him 16% crit rate, which is really weird, especially since, you know, he's supposed to be a defensive agent. But that's all I really have to say for Ben right now. So we're going to be moving to the next agent. Oh yeah, Seth's in this game. I almost forgot about him. So he came out in the second phase of 1.1 along with Jane Doe as our second A-rated defense agent. And I'm just going to rip the band-aid off of this. He barely qualifies as a defensive agent to begin with, because the only defensive capability he has is HP shields that Ben also has. But if we're going to be so real about it, he is just a big anomaly shield, especially during that time when Django first came out, because his buff from his EX, which nowadays isn't really much. Granted, 100 anomaly proficiency for its time. I mean, it was okay because he was the only anomaly support we had back then. He is at least very easy to play because, I mean, all you really need to do is just press EX, ult basic, and then just defensive assist like almost 24/7 because it only takes up like 1 assist point. But there's one thing I have to mention is that I don't use him for his defensive capabilities at all anymore. I have turned him into a anomaly free-to-play option but I will say he did have his time in the early life of ZZZ. Even when Bernice came out, you could still say he had his use because he's technically the only anomaly support during that time, but Caesar was out there, which we will get to her later. I mean, as a free-to-play option, yeah, he could work. And then 1.3 could argue that's where he stopped, or his use has just gone severely down because of Yanagi. Because Yanagi she was a beast back then. She was just the best anomaly disorder of all time during her debut. And now as we got more anomaly agents and we got more supports, there's no doubt that Seth's uses have just completely fallen off. I mean, you still can technically use him if you don't have any of the good anomaly supports. I mean, there really isn't much to say about him. I mean, that's really all I really got for him. Anyway, let's move on to the next agent. Alright, and now we finally get our first S-rank defensive agent, who is Caesar, who came out at the beginning of 1.2. So Caesar undoubtedly was one of the best agents when she came out because her kit was very game-changing just for her Radiant Aegis shield, and I technically would consider her as a jack-of-all-trades character because not only is she helping you defend against enemy attacks, her shield also grants a 1000 attack increase as well to the equipper, and she's also a stunner at that. Like I said before, I think Caesar had absolutely excelled at all three of those. She did so much for you. Caesar did a lot for your account. There was no doubt that she was the must-pull agent at the time. I did get her on my 50-50 win when she came out. Caesar really helped boost my account to clear a bunch of content and Shiyu defense. I still hold Caesar with a lot of love for how it also had to do with she had content centered around her for her shield. Her stun capabilities was pretty good for that time, but as all agents do, as the patches went by, Caesar's use was slowly dwindling and falling off because as every gacha game goes, we've had much more stronger supports like Astra and Yuzuha, and as for stunners, I would say we did have Jifufu, who I would honestly say is doing Caesar's job better just in terms of now being a generalist support stunner, but there's no doubt in my mind that people who still have Caesar still value her for what she did to help boost their accounts for clearing content. I mean, even still, she still has her use. She can absolutely shred miasma shields. Have you seen that clip of her shredding through it? Yeah, that's all I'm going to be saying for Caesar, and we're going to be moving to the next defensive agent, and I say that with very heavy quotations, although really I shouldn't be using quotations because he's not a defensive agent at all. Currently, as the making of this video, Pan Yinhu is currently our 4th defensive agent and our 3rd A-rank. And what the fuck is Hoyo thinking? I'm gonna be kind of mean because it's more having to do with Pan being chosen as a defensive agent at all because he had zero defensive capabilities in his kit, and the only thing that they chose his role to be defensive is not because he's big. I have to say it's because of his HP regen, which even in itself is incredibly niche. And I guess it does have its use in like Battle Tower, or if you're doing Lost Void, but that's really about it. Han is not a defensive agent at all. He currently is our only Rupture support agent, and right now, currently, our only Rupture agent is Xuan. And we did get announcement of having 2 more Rupture agents coming out, being Minato and Ihari. And maybe if there's a case of Zhao being a Rupture agent, but that might not be the case because she has gotten some stuff leaked. Then there's another thing too, is that Lucia is also a Rupture support agent, and someone who is far better because of course she's the one in the S rank. But there's one major thing, is that if you don't have Yi Xuan, Han has no use for it. He's just going to be sitting there in your account, just like rotting away until we finally get Minato, because we will be getting a free copy of them, so that's like really nice. I love Han Yinhu's character. I really like his design, but I just have to question why he is a defensive agent when he has 0 defensive capabilities at all. Now, I asked this one question. Can you remove the defense class? And my answer to that is yes. Like, all you really need to do is make Ben just a full-on DPS agent, just readjust his kit so he's not scaling defense. Seth, you could just change him into a pure anomaly support for free-to-play players. Caesar's on the weird side because she actually does have defensive capabilities and does fit the role as a defensive agent, but I think I would just have her role just being as a stunner. As for Han Yinhu, yeah, like, he should have just been a fucking support agent to begin with. There's no questions to be asked about it. Okay, so that now marks the end of the video, and I just have to say, this was a goddamn pain in the ass to get out because I had to redo a lot of segments and re-record as well because I just hated how they were. But I can't really say that I did have fun doing this because this is definitely much different compared to just all the runs I usually post. If there ever does come a time, I more than likely would want to remake this if we get a new defensive agent, or just later down the line in like either, I don't know, 3.0 or 4. If we ever get there. And as said, I do want to talk about more topics if I ever come up with things to talk about, you know, depending on how this video will do. I don't want to drag this too long. If you like the video, you know, leave a like. If you want to see more from me, then you can leave a subscribe. I don't want to pander, you know, liking the vid, making you like and subscribing the first thing, so I don't want to do that. I want you to just watch it first, see how you think of it, and then just leave a like and just subscribe if you want to see more from me. But that's gonna be all from me. If ever does come a time I actually finish a script, I will definitely do that, so you won't have to mute me constantly. So I'll be going now. Bye.